Hello, welcome to another YouTube video. Come on into this beautiful room we've decorated. It's a really beautiful project we've been working on. It's almost 20,000 square feet, so obviously in terms of size, it's really large. But what we found is our clients really wanted to make it a home away from home, and they wanted to put all of those cozy layers in and make it beautiful. In this property, the bones were already really good. So mostly what we've done here is purely cosmetic to make it more to the client's taste. We have actually a before picture of this room, so we'll add that into the video just so you can see what we did to make this room feel cozy. And really what we did to make it feel warm was use a technique called color drenching, and we just enveloped the room in a much darker color. One of the colors that you can see on the architraving here is called Basalt, and that's by Little Green. It's a beautiful dark inky blue, and in color psychology, dark blues rest the heart rate. They make us feel calm and comfortable. So I love that type of coloring in a room that really is a TV room. It's somewhere the clients will come in and they will sit and relax in the evening. So this color worked out perfectly in here. And I will talk you through more of the details as we go through the room, because there's quite a few details that we got in here. One of them being this lovely piece of original Irish art that I sourced for the clients, and it's by John Kingerly, and you can see it has all of the lovely inky blues coming through. And we didn't have wall lights in this room, so we positioned some clever picture lighting over the artwork just to really fill out the space. I think it's something that's often overlooked in projects, but original artwork is so interesting and it tells your own story about the room, and if you can tie in the colours, even better. So it's lovely to have this piece of Irish art. And if you're doing art in your own house, don't forget to light it up. Make sure you try and add in a picture light, because it just really enhances the beauty of the picture. Underneath it, we have like a little settee, a really miniature one, just with some bespoke cushions. And with this bespoke cushion, we added a fun little bobbin trim. And it has these ochre colours and golds coming through, which I think work in the room really well. Another thing, and you'll probably see it a little better in some of the shots later on in the video, is this really special rug we created for the room. So we designed this rug and had it made bespoke, and we picked out the perfect inky blue to complement the wall colour, and then we bordered it in like a nice light cream, which really works with our sofa and our curtains, which I'll show you in a minute also. Another big part of this room and making this room feel full and cozy was the addition of some bespoke joinery. In this room, it's really dramatic ceiling height. I'm actually quite tall. I'm like 5'8", and I look small in this room because the ceiling height is so high. So what we did was we installed oak custom bookcases, and we ran them up quite tall in the room, and we actually put on like a double coving so that it felt nice and full and statement in the room, because as I said earlier, it had like a nice chunky coving in here already, so that felt like it worked quite well within the space. And then what we like doing is adding extra details. So actually at the back of this cabinet, there is like a little detail here just to bring in a little bit of texture, and we backlit these, and we can dim the backlighting on these so the clients have control over how bright or how dark they are. We can dim them a lot more from what they are now, which is lovely if you want that really zen-like space to watch a movie in the evening. Then the other thing I will mention before we move on is, and I forgot to mention it already, is the beautiful textured wallpaper. The textured wallpaper is from Philip Jeffries, and they do the most incredible wall coverings. And again, when you go for something plain like this, it enhances the room, it creates depth, but it's so timeless. I go out on site visits quite often, and sometimes I'll go to a home and they might be redecorating it, and sometimes they'll have wall covering up like this, and it could be up 10 or 15 years and it's perfect. So this is a really timeless one, and that's why we love it. So come on over to the rest of the room and I'll show you around the other choices. So again, this room is very large, and we wanted to make sure the clients had a sofa that they felt they could sink into. So what we did was we created this U-shaped sofa, and it's a very relaxed look. So literally when you sit in it, you sink into it. So they can sit here, throw their legs up and watch a movie really comfortably. And I feel like this shape of sofa really works well in the room because it is centered around the TV. The clients have other rooms where it's more social and we'll have sofas facing each other, but this was the perfect choice for in here. One of the other things I absolutely adore is this coffee table. So this coffee table, we got made for the client, and just the detail in the stone top alone is incredible. We had it made by Tom Faulkner Furniture. They're over in the UK and they do the most beautiful pieces. So we actually did one of their pieces in the hallway as well, which we'll show you another time. But this one has that kind of aged brass. It's nice and open underneath, and it just has enough statement and veining and interest in the stone to make it a centerpiece of such a large room, because as you can see behind me, we went super neutral on the sofa. And just having that contrast of materials and something with a lot of pattern in the stone and then so plain on the sofa, I think it's a nice combination. And that sits beautifully again on that beautiful rug we got made for the client, and is perfect in this room and feels lovely underfoot. So on the back wall we have some artwork we sourced for the client, and I'd like to show you actually these beautiful lights. So we've added the paneling in this room, and then we put the wallpaper within the panels, and this is a lovely alabaster light, and it's held together in like a brass frame. And I think because they're nice and long, they look very generous in the room. We didn't want them to feel like they'd be lost on the wall because the ceiling heights are large, so these worked really well. And then just to bring in a little bit of life in the room, a planter with a bit of greenery in the corner. And then one other thing that I would love to show you, well, two other things. One is the curtains. So over at this end of the room, we painted the beautiful windows in that dark basalt color again. And then we decided to contrast with the curtains, but you can see the curtains read very neutral in the room, but when you see them in reality, there is so much texture in there. So they really feel super cozy. So I'm just going to show you a bit more of the pattern in them. If you want to come over here, they are really gorgeous. And so we just hung them that they're pooling just very slightly on the floor. But yeah, when these are closed at night time, it feels very cozy. And they're quite simple and streamlined, so it makes them have more of a contemporary feel in the space, and we love that kind of more relaxed look. There's almost like little waves going through it. It's really interesting. So love that fabric. And then you're just coming around to the other side, and what we have over here is just symmetry between the client's fireplace. So we have the nice oak bookcases again, and client's TV over the fireplace. You can actually see how we pulled in almost like these ochre warm colors to accent our navy base, just because it really heats it up beautifully. And this was the existing fireplace, and we just added a nice little mahogany and brass peat bucket, which dresses up the fireplace quite nicely. And then one other thing I really love in this room is this light fitting. So it's like a painted kind of gilded detail, and it's quite fun with like the flowers that light up, and the lovely ceiling rose works really nicely with that contemporary light fitting too. And I think that's everything in this room. So I'll show you a couple of other spaces here as we go along. Come on. Welcome to the kitchen space. So in here, the kitchen was existing and it was already really beautiful. So we worked with what was here. What we did do, just to give it an update and again make it more personal to the clients, we replaced the worktop. We put in a lovely marble camouflage worktop, and we added a little detail of a brass strip in the center, which is just a nice little visual detail, especially when the island is so large. Another thing we did was add these beautiful drop lights from the ceiling, and we also color drenched this room. So went for a warm mushroomy color, and we painted it on all the walls, all the cabinets, all the ceilings. Over here you'll see we did the backsplash and camouflage as well, which has that lovely strong vein coming through. We painted the island in a contrasting color, and we went kind of more of a dark brown on that. And over in this section, we replaced some of the cabinets. These cremone bowls we added in brass, which are really beautiful, and we did the kind of fluted glass, and these open up this way, and I just thought they were a lovely extra detail to have in kind of a classical kitchen, so we love those. And then over along here you can see we replaced the hardware. We went for more of like a bronze color to mix in, and we also replaced the window dressings for a very classic kind of check pattern. And on the backsplash we added in some texture. So we added a lovely zeliage tile that works really well with the marble we selected for the worktops. And behind me we redesigned a new cooker hood. So again, by just making a few enhancements in the space, it really made it feel like a different kitchen for the clients. And really pleased with how this cooker hood turned out, because what was here before, and we can probably pop in an image of how it looked before, it was a little more dated with what was up here with the cabinets. So I think this really gives it a bit of a new lease of life, but it's also very classic and timeless. Then if we move over this way, in this area there is a dining table that was here already, and the clients wanted to keep this dining table because it was literally made from a piece of timber from a tree that fell in the garden. So there's a little bit of history behind it, and what we did for the client is we just basically refurbished it. So we sanded it back and stained it with one of our stains that we thought was going to be appropriate, and left the wood looking beautiful and natural and raw. And it would be a shame to get rid of a piece that has history in the location. So we were really happy to keep this one. We added a beautiful kind of more contemporary light fitting over this dining table, and then some art with a bit of green in it. And we also added some nice sagey green Queen Anne style chairs in the windows so they can sit down and relax. And we actually did a different foil down here than what we did in the kitchen space. So we just did a lovely classic striped foil, which is super, super timeless and will age really well. And then in this space, in this beautiful sunroom, it has tons of natural light. So it's a space they can really use in the daytime. If they have guests over, they can sit down and relax, and it's just off the kitchen, which is nice. I love this dining area. We have a sofa we did in a very kind of textured green linen. So it's somewhere you could sit down and really relax in the evening. If you were like having a dinner party, it feels a bit more intimate than the dining table, which only has benches. And we did this really nice fabric. I think it's a Pierre Frey one. I'll check it and put it in the notes. But I just absolutely love the pattern, and I love the color, and I love the combination of fabrics. This feels a little more delicate while this is more woven, so I think the combination is nice together. And then we've done a pair of lamps so that there's nice soft lighting at nighttime. And you'll also see the voiles we added to the windows, so we wanted to do something nice and light. The windows are already incredibly beautiful, so we didn't want anything too heavy on them. We just wanted to enhance what was already there. And this foil with the very simple stripe through it is a very timeless classic, so we felt it worked perfectly in the space. Then over here we have a couple of aged leather sofas. We did a coffee table that has some of that veining in it. Also, especially in a big space like this where it has the tiles, I think the rugs are really important. So we did like a woven jute and wool rug with a nice cotton border, and that kind of works well in this space. And over here, we found this lovely piece of furniture, which is quite textured and again feels a little bit modern. It's nice to mix in the old with the new. And we found this lovely piece of art for the client, which is kind of nice and warm in the space and works well with the leather sofas. And then we added a piece of original art in here as well. And we put it on one of those little tiny kind of easels, and they're actually a great thing for using to style console tables or sideboards, because it means you can layer things up, and sometimes it's nice to have a smaller piece of art or something more personal to you, and it layers out the look. And then just over in the corner we have a fun corner chair that has an interesting shape and has that nice rusty warm colour just for that lift of colour in the space. Welcome to the reading room. This is a very fun, inspired room, and the client wanted a space where she could come to that was her own haven, that she could sit, relax, read a book. So we coined the term the reading room for this space. The most important thing really for the client was to have some fun with the space. And when we showed her this dramatic, bold colour, she loved it, and it felt warm and energetic and like a little bit of fun for her. So that was really the theme and the brief around this space. What we did in here is we put in a lovely wool pile carpet, and then again, because it's a big space, we layered it with some rugs just to anchor the room and give it more depth. Also, in this space we had fun with one of my favorite light fittings. I think this one is just really a joyful piece, so we really love that. And then we did a gorgeous lacquered and brass coffee table that we sourced for the client. I love the mixture of some lacquered finishes especially in with some matte things like, you know, textures and rugs. I just think it really gives a lift to the overall look and feel of the space. Over here we did a slightly curved sofa. We added some fun cushions, and we also colour drenched this room. So we did, I think the name of the colour is called Pink Musk. I'll add it in the show notes later. We did it on our new built-in cabinets, we did it on the ceiling, and we went for it, and it's quite dramatic, but I think it's quite fun. In here we found this gorgeous oversized piece of artwork. It's kind of bringing in some earthy tones, which we've brought in elsewhere in the room, but also it has koi fish in it, and they symbolize joy, abundance and good fortune. So we love that feeling in this space because it's meant to be a joyful and happy space. Also in the room we replaced the window dressings, and we went for a nice voile that felt not too heavy in the space so that it feels nice and bright in the room. We did a lovely kind of pedestal table with some veining in it, and then I'll bring you over to the bookcases. So here we've obviously added in lots of little decor pieces that the client likes. We did these original artworks with the brass frames, which are quite lovely and feminine in the space. And we did this beautiful marble, and the marble has like a purple and a green vein running through it. So it complements the colour of the cabinetry really beautifully. Also what we did in here was like a double moulding on the base cabinets, and rather than handles we left it handleless, so it's just push open and push close, which is nice in the space too. And then I'll just show you the other corner of the room before we finish up in here. So over here I just put in a large plant just to bring a little bit of life into the space. These are great when there's a little uplighter in them at night because they really glow. All of those pockets of lighting are super important for the overall feel of atmosphere in the space. You'll notice here we have a giant piece of artwork with the dog on it that looks really friendly. The client absolutely loves dogs, and she wanted, again, a fun and energetic and happy piece of art that meant something to her, so the dog was perfect for here. And the other special thing here is this vintage sideboard. It's a burlwood and brass piece, so you can see there's kind of flush handles and a brass detail here, and I absolutely love the warmth of the burlwood. And this piece is by Willie Rizzo, and again, the client absolutely loves having some pieces that are a little bit different, and this one we got on first dibs. So that is the reading room space, a very fun space, definitely a lot more colour than we normally get to try out, but I definitely think this space is very fun and energetic, and the client loves it. Now we've come to the end of this YouTube video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know you love the home tours, so it's great to be able to show you a little part of this one. There is going to be more parts to this project because we have so many more exciting things to show you. But at least we've gotten started with this part one today. As always, feel free to let me know any questions in the comments section, and if you'd like to see more home tours and if you're interested in interiors, please do subscribe to our page. We're going to keep bringing you videos every month at least. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks, bye.